All right, let's go. All right, and we are live. We'll give it another minute for people to show up who are planning to show up, and then we'll jump right into it. All right, I think we can begin. Welcome, Fran. Today we're starting the evening speaking session with Fran from PancakeSwap. Other than this, afterwards we'll have Gene from MUX Finance and Iham from Silo Finance. So the way that these talks will be structured is that the speakers will come up, they'll present for 30 minutes, and then we'll open up the floor for some Q&A afterwards. That we've allocated around 5 minutes of time to that. And the chat function should be working now on YouTube, so feel free to drop your questions anytime during the presentation as well, and then we'll jump into them afterwards. All right. Thank you very much for joining us today, Fran, at UHack. Why don't you start with a short introduction about yourself, about PancakeSwap, and how those two came together to meet?
Okay, thank you first. Thank you a lot for this opportunity to talk a little bit about the project. Also, first, I want to say congratulations for the event that you are mounting. It's super cool to bring these opportunities to people in Web3. We know it's the whole environment is increasing a lot. It's getting bigger and bigger, but this kind of times, this kind of events helps a lot the community. So thank you for that. And talking a little bit about PancakeSwap and myself too. I'm the community manager of PancakeSwap, and of course the representative of the project today. PancakeSwap is an all-in-one multi-chain DEX. We started as a DEX, and we convert in a full hub of different features and products for the DeFi users. PancakeSwap has presence in 9 blockchains at the moment. It has, just to put some numbers, accumulate volume for, if I recall good, more than 650 billions since we started, just in trading volume. And we have been in this ecosystem since 2020, quite a year if we think about the COVID and all that shit that come with those in those times. And a super brief intro about myself. I entered in this fantastic ecosystem the same year, 2020. I was looking for a way to feel free with my savings. I came for a place. I can say that I'm an Argentinian, and we have quite difficulties with our national shitcoin as a currency, and of course to use our savings in a free way. So crypto is a super easy. I mean, it's an easy go for us. So we have a super huge community. So I enter more like anyone. Bitcoin is. I didn't know anything about DeFi, and I enter as a normal, regular investor user in PancakeSwap, and I actively participated in the Telegram community, the main one in English. and create the Spanish community with other guys who has the same native language. As you realize, English is not my native, so if I made mistakes, forget me in advance. And this was without any lucrative reason. I just wanted to learn about crypto and PancakeSwap, but in my language, since we all know what it's to be a rookie in this ecosystem at the beginning with all those difficult terms, all those difficult tasks, and easy to get scammed, right? And after a lot of time, I was contacted by the project and I started working with them. First, only with the Spanish community. Then my tasks improved. And 3 years later, I'm inside the marketing team, giving this presentation to all of you. And of course, again, I'm super glad about this invitation. And I hope I will be able to speak about all the topics that I prepare if I have the time. I tend to speak a lot, so I will try to make it quick. So, as a small index of what are we going to talk today, I would like to discuss the biggest recent product launches since we have a lot and it's not easy to put it in a 30 minutes presentation, but I would like to talk a little bit about the last improvements and the bigger ones about PancakeSwap. So if you're okay, we can start.
Yeah, sure. Take it away, Fran.
Got it. Let me manage the presentation. Um, First, I would like to talk about the multi-chain deployment. As I told you before, PancakeSwap was born in the beginning of BNB chain, just I think 1 month or something after BNB chain creation. At that moment, it was called Binance Smart Chain, and the mission was one: become the number one DEX in the world. And things were quite different at that time. We all know crypto moves super fast, and now our mission is bigger. We want to be, as I say before, the all-in-one DeFi hub for all the DeFi users, and you can count on that. We are building to reach that. We had presence in 9 blockchains. You can see some volumes there. And the other ones of other chains. Last year was super big in terms of multi-chain expansion. We have deployed in most of these chains or core products, and our trading volume is quite impressive in some of them. Besides BNB chain, we are live on Aptos, Ethereum, Base, Polygon, CKVM, CK Sync Era, Arbitrum, and Linea. And you can see a variety of blockchains with a big presence of the layer 2 chains that I think it's a super nice narrative that we are seeing these days, trying to solve the eternal trilemma between security, scalability. Sorry. And yeah, I think that's the first step in this idea of becoming the number one DeFi hub. Improving our presence. For now, we are waiting a bit in terms of more deployments. We want to polish our product in all of these blockchains that I mentioned before thumping into new blockchains. We know chains are out every day. You can see a new chain is going out. It's not easy for a project who has a lot of core products to quickly build into a new chain. So for now, we are staying with the blockchain that we have. And some numbers, more than 1 million. We are the project with more in terms of DEXs in DeFi, with more users. Number 2 in terms of volume, since Uniswap is the first. Number 1 in terms of users. Just in the last 30 days, we have 1.3 million of users. You can see some numbers on the trades and on the TBL. I just put it just to everyone can figure how big PancakeSwap become. And the idea is to increase this volume. We are 4th in volume indexes in Ethereum, which is a chain that when we started, it was like unreachable, right? When we PancakeSwap started in BNB chain, it was like you're never gonna see this project on Ethereum, maybe, since it's the big leaks, right? Now we are there. Now we are fourth in terms of trading volume and trying to get more and more users, since we know that is where the big money is, right? And some products that PancakeSwap has, of course, as a swap, you will find the core ones like swap, when you can trade. I will try to take some things for granted, since we are going to talk about a lot of things. So if someone doesn't understand, I think it can just put the question and I will stop and tell. But as exchange, what we do, of course, if you want to make a swap, if you want to provide liquidity, which is the soul of an exchange. Without liquidity, we are no one. Of course, we added a bridge, a native bridge, and partnership with other bridge protocols, so you can get your tokens into one of the blockchains that we are deployed in. We integrated perpetual trading for the editions that like the leveraged and play traders. We have perpetual for them too. And also we integrated with some fiat on ramp projects, like you can buy crypto with your preferred currency if you want. We work on a DeFi space, but we know that the integration with the non-DeFi spaces, it's quite vital too for the mass adoption. So if you, it's not a function that I will personally use, but if you want to buy crypto with your credit card, with your national currency or whatever, you can do it on PancakeSwap through some integrations that are the third-party protocols, but you can. Of course, as a swap, we have farming, we have pools to stake, Cake, which is the native token from PancakeSwap. We have liquid staking. You know, liquid staking is a narrative that it's in the mouth of everyone these days. And also integrated with Binance, the simple staking function that you can just stake one asset and earn the same asset. And something that I will tell you more entering the presentation, we are we are entering into GameFi ecosystem. At the beginning, when the GameFi exploded in the whole environment, and the PancakeSwap community was complaining why PancakeSwap doesn't have their own game. We had an answer that it's like, if we can develop a game with all the things that a game needs to function, we are not going to enter that part of the ecosystem. And we know how most of the games in crypto ended. We have some cases, I won't point out anyone, but you know, when you don't have a good tokenomics in your game, it's more like I don't want to say bad words, but we know how most of the game ended in the ecosystem. And then we remained silent until some months ago. And I will talk a little bit more later, but we have a gaming marketplace that you can play and also build if you're a game developer reaching out to us. We have a prediction where you can predict the price of a coin. It depends on the chain. We have different coins. One of them is Cake, another one is BNB, another one is ARB, and you can predict if it's going to be up or down. And it's more like a gaming thing. And of course, we have a NFT marketplace with 2 collections on our own, and anyone can reach out to us to list a collection if they are interested too. And showing a little bit more about how multi-chain we are. There is a list of products, so you can see how much of our products, or how many of our products are deployed in other blockchains. Of course, core products like Swap, Farm, and Liquidity are in through all the blockchains that we are deployed in, but other products are more like for one blockchain than other. Our ideas are this to bring all of our core products to the most representative blockchains that we are in, and we are on a daily basis trying to get sometimes it's not easy to bridge one product to other blockchain, but we are trying, and we are on it. That's all what it's remaining to multi-chain expansion. But I want to talk a little bit about PancakeSwap v3. It's I think most of you know, or at least heard about what v3 is for projects like Uniswap, for us, for other projects who are entering into this improvement for the exchange, for the AMM. And basically, it's kind of a difficult or maybe not easy to understand topic, so I will try to not go around the bushes a lot. But the launch of PancakeSwap v3 marked a significant milestone in our journey towards providing the best DeFi experience to user. It enhanced capital efficiency, and of course, new features. Now traders can enjoy and select ever multi-fee tiers. It's not like V2, our old version, when you had only 0.25%. Now depends on of the pair and depends on the situation that you think where the most trades will occur. You can select a fee, a trading fee, because you are concentrating capital. Sorry. These multi-fee tiers bring traders the lowest trading fees in the industry. For example, when you are trading stable coins compared to V2, which has the same fee tier that I told you. Now, if the pair is on the less fee tier, you are going to just spend super small amounts in terms of fees. And one thing that I think it's super good to mention is about capital efficiency. Now liquidity providers, and I think this is the best thing about V3, it's like they can concentrate their capital in ranges where they think the most trading occurs, and that will make their money work harder for them. It's different than V2, where you put two assets and just provide liquidity in the full curve of prices. So you are super exposed to impermanent loss. You don't earn trading fees as efficient as now in V3. It comes with a lot of difficulties in terms of select the ranges. But for example, this is super beneficial in stable coins, where the two assets hardly, and of course hardly, it's not impossible. We know sometimes what happens with stable coins, but where the two assets hardly change in price in relation to each other, the capital multiplier can be up to, I don't know, 4,000x. And this is a super exaggerated number, but concentrated liquidity for at least for me, I don't consider myself an OG because I'm here for less than 4 years, but for crypto is like a life. And as much time pass in crypto, I get more conservative. So I think farming with concentrated liquidity is one of the most beneficial things in projects, in secure projects like PancakeSwap. I mean, for big amounts of money, if you know how to manage the ranges, I think this is an opportunity to everyone to explore and see the benefits that this update brings. But if you don't, if you are, more things, I forgot that, this slide. no, sorry. If you are more like lazy, or if you don't want to learn because it's not easy, you can get. There is no problem because you create a unique position that can go out to the range, and that position won't earn trading rewards and won't earn farming. But if the price moves to the range that you put, the position will be active again, and you will again earn rewards. But creating positions, maybe you need to see where the price is, where you think it is going to be in 2, 3, 4 days, 1 month, whatever. If you're more lazy than that, we offer another possibility. Since it can be complex to users, we develop Position Manager in partnership with other projects. It's a collaborative integration, and it offers different strategies for optimal liquidity provision. So what it brings auto compounding LP rewards. You only need to put one asset into the manager, and users will automatically getting reinvested the rewards from these managers. And then the LPs will never going out of range. The manager will handle the situation, like creating a staking liquidity position, rebalancing, harvesting the rewards. And we are always adding new protocols. For example, we have Breed Finance at the moment. We have just partnered with Alpaca Finance, which is an other OSHI protocol in terms of strategic shield. And this is a really good solution if you don't want to spend time trying to understand how B3 works. I would really like to go more deep into this, but I want to jump into another topic, which is maybe more difficult than this, but it's super important. It's like I think it's one of our biggest product launches so far, and it's Be Cake. I don't know if you are related to what Be tokenomics is. You can take the example of Curve, which is, I think, one of the first ones with this narrative. And Be tokens and the whole structure, as I say, it's not new in the ecosystem, but it's super cool and super beneficial for PancakeSwap and the projects who build on top of us, and of course on the users. And what does this chain bring? I put in these slides and the following ones, I put the text for you to read, so you don't only need to hear my voice if you have any question on if you don't understand something. I think the thing here, the crucial thing, it's like now the system for deciding cake emission redirection, it goes through BCake. BCake is nothing more than the locked cake at the past. Cake stakers or cake holders can stake and lock their cake into a pool, and then they will be able to vote on different voting proposals. Cake emissions is, I think, one of the most important things for the cake tokenomics structure, and now is going to be decided by the cake holders. The amount of the cake that you are going to receive is relating to the amount of cake you locked into the pool, and of course the duration of that lock. And the pool rewards are distributed based on the amount of big cake that you have. This is not new for any stake project who has a staking. Of course, big cake is a token that is not transferable, and the only way to acquire big cake is by depositing and locking cake. This is not new. And in this way, PancakeSwap rewards much more users who block a large amount of cake over a longer period of time, granting them different type of benefits. This is not new, but the thing which is new first is like PancakeSwap since 2023 started to started to distribute revenue sharing. We know not much projects can say that they are distributing the income that they receive. Instead of going to the treasury, a part is distributed to the holders. This is not creating new tokens. This is not creating value from nothing. This is distributing one part of the trading fees this is distributing the income. It's real shield, we can say. I think this is something that can be more related to the usual economy than the crypto economy. So that I think this is a super big step. And what comes with Big Cake, a super huge update in terms of the governance of the protocol, and that's what I want to talk in the next slides. Now, as a Big Cake holder, we have a gaseous system. And what is a gaseous system? It's like with your Big Cake, you can vote to allocate emission to essential products. For example, like farms, and this is going to be every set period. We call it epoch, and it's like every 14 days. At the end of this epoch, where you can vote on different gauges, each product will receive a proportion of this emission, of this cake allocation. And talking a little bit how this works, for example, you are a cake holder, you have your Big Cake, and now you every 14 days can, if you want, it's not mandatory, you can do it if you want to participate in the governance. You can go to a part of our website and see the different. For now, it's only for farms. We are going to add more products for this governance structure, and you can decide how much cake allocation. It means how much cake emissions it's going to go for this product. The gauges are set. The projects approach to us saying we want to offer a gauge for our farm, for example. If we approve, the gauge is set into the web. The holders can vote. The votes are tailed and adjusted, and the change are applied. And this brings this is an example how it looks. You can see how much Big Cake you have, the different gauges, in this case farms, and you can cast your vote every 14 days to allocate more emissions to each farm. And this opens the possibility for different projects, meta governance projects, to build on top of PancakeSwap. These projects can accumulate cake to optimize this yield. I mean, they can accumulate cake to get more voting power, to vote in the farms and in the products that they want more cake being allocated. But for having to have this and offering different kind of shields and benefits, they need to seduce the users to deposit cake or delegate their cake to them. So the best part of this is like they need to get the more Big Cake they can have, and for that they need to lock their cake maximum period of time. In this case, PancakeSwap offer 4 years, and this is like a black hole. They need to lock that cake into maximum duration. So that means less cake in circulation in the market. So it opened the possibility for different projects to start building and fight, we can say, as Curve has, we have our own PancakeSwap wars. So projects fighting to get more cake, to basically put it into a black hole, so they can get more power in the governance structure and give better, because the other part is the users. PancakeSwap gets less cake in circulation, more liquidity, and better decentralized governance. The project gets a bigger user base and gets better emissions allocation based on how much cake they locked. But what user get? Now the user is in the best position because projects, for example, if you don't want to have your cake locked, you can delegate your cake to them and they will give you a synthetic of cake. For example, CakePie, which is one of the biggest cake lockers at this time, has M cake, and they give you a synthetic of cake if you delegate your stake position to them. And that cake could be sold, could be changed for cake again. You can do whatever with that synthetic. It's a third-party protocol, and you need to take it as what it is. But you can, for example, if you had 3 years block, you can go out and leave it with your money whenever you want. And that was not possible some time ago. They get bribes because these projects, and we are going to talk about bribes in a minute, these projects need to offer incentives to these users to lock cake with them. Yes. You can get climbably rewards in a weekly basis with which we doesn't have at the past. And of course, you have governance power because you can decide on PancakeSwap emissions. Okay, I already talked about bribes. I'm trying to hurry a bit. Think you have a project and want to get more emissions to your farm. How do you can achieve that? You need to seduce the users and offer different incentives to the PancakeSwap community to vote on. We don't have a in-house bribery market, but we have partnered with a lot of different markets that they receive bribes from projects and distribute it to the users who vote on. So that's another new functionality that we have. And to wrap up super quick, I want to talk about our gaming marketplace. As I told before, our gaming marketplace is something relatively new. This journey into GameFi began with the launch of an inaugural game, Pancake Protectors, in collaboration with Mobox. It's a tower defense with PvP game. We had more like 25,000 daily players in the peak, in the best moment. And then we launched a second game, which is called Pancake Mayor in collaboration with Binary X. It's a city building simulation game that combines strategy and, of course, fun. It has more than 250 levels, mini games, and different events. Both games are integrated with the Cake token and NFTs, and of course expand the PancakeSwap ecosystem. And to talk just a little bit more about the gaming marketplace, it's a hub for gamer developers and the community, so you can play, build, and connect. Our vision is to bring also both players and developers in one space. So I would like to invite, if you're a gamer or if you're a game developer, to come and reach out to us and start this voyage into GameFi. No matter if you're just sketching out your ideas or polishing a complete project, we are all ears for your proposal, so we can start creating some synergy into that. So yeah, I hope you had this presentation. And thank you again for listening to me. I had to hurry a bit, but I hope you found this insightful and, of course, exciting. And I just, before we wrap up, I super encourage you to explore the features that I just mentioned and all the rest of the feature that PancakeSwap has to offer. And we can continue this conversation if you have further questions or want to check out something. Feel free to reach out on our social channels, and of course together can make the PancakeSwap and of course the crypto community even stronger.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Fran.
No, thank
Yeah,
you guys.
I know the voting mechanism and the system with that is quite complex. So it is difficult to explain it really quickly in the short 30-minute presentation times. Yeah, now would be the time to drop any of your questions that you have for Fran. In the meantime, I did come up with a few questions that our fellow hackers at UHack might be interested in knowing the answers to. Yeah, so you mentioned a lot of creative different aspects and creative different directions that PancakeSwap as a DEX branched off into. What do you think are some other creative DEX integration or DEX uses that you can advise for hackathon participants to integrate into their projects?
Okay, if I start with the answer, I won't end. So yeah, I can you try to recreate the question just
Oh
a
yeah,
little
yeah.
bit answerable in 1 minute?
Yeah, sure. Okay. So if you had to say just one thing as an answer, then what would you say is the most creative and the best use of a DEX in a hackathon project?
I like it. Yeah. Oh, but it's also super difficult. But I would say I always have a community and, of course, some retail point of view since it's where I become. And I think the most creative and useful thing of the decks, uh, I I think creative too, but I think it's the user experience and of course the interface. Crypto is quite a difficult environment for if we want to talk about mass adoption and not only something for developers. I think a big challenge and a use for a DEX, it's like everyone would need to use it without any kind of help. Sometimes we want to create super elevated things, but at the end, just a bunch of users will understand. So I think the most challenge there it's like to create something easy and yeah usable. I don't know if that word exists.
Yeah, I think that works perfectly fine. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Fran, for joining us today and for your presentation.
No, thank you for the invitation. Sorry for stealing some minutes out of it.
Yeah, no worries about it. We have our next speaker here as well. All right. Goodbye, Fran. It was nice speaking to you.
Goodbye. Thank you a lot. Have a nice day.
You too. All right. Yeah, that was PancakeSwap. So it was a pretty interesting presentation with a lot of mechanics. And welcome, Dumbird from MUX Protocol. We have them here with us right now. Hello.
Hello. Hey, everybody.
Hello. Would you like to start with a short introduction about yourself, about MUX Protocol?
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, hey everyone, this is Dumbird from Mux here. I'm one of the Jim wasn't able to make it today, so I'll help to just share some of the stories, insights, and learnings around Mux. So personally, I am one of the community contributors at Mux, mainly helping with BD marketing and some strategy side of stuff. So yeah, very excited to be here to share the stories and insights. And yeah, for a bit of context, MUX protocol is a decentralized perps trading aggregator. And for everyone who's not familiar with perpetuals, it's basically kind of just long or short certain assets with leverage. So yeah, MUX itself as an aggregator is currently has integrated with JMX V1, V2, G-Trade, and also the MUX native pool. And the goal of it is to kind of serve as this like unified entrance for on-chain traders to get access to deepest possible liquidity and also diverse markets and like best possible trading costs, as well as streamlined trading experiences.
All right, I see. Yeah, MUX protocol is quite something. I don't feel like I fully have my head wrapped around that. Can you please explain some of MUX's mechanics and what kind of benefits those mechanics bring to people? Because I'm not a very pro trader myself. I don't dive into trading all that much, and perhaps it would be beneficial to start with a quick explanation about that. But
Yes.
anyways, I'm sorry, that was just something that I had in mind before I let you get started. But feel free to take the floor and take it away.
Sounds good. Yeah, can everyone see my screen here? All good? Okay, cool. So yeah, MUX itself is, we call it the PerpStacks aggregator. So it currently has integrated with GMX, their V1 and V2 version, and G-Trade and like MUX native MUX LP as well. So it's kind of like this like unified entrance that users can use to get access to like multiple different liquidity pools behind it. So in this case, traders can open positions through the aggregator that utilize like liquidity and also build kind of for like a single like big position, or like a position that contains like multiple components from different protocols. And because it's as integrated with different protocols, it can also kind of offer a diverse kind of market options based on all the offerings from those protocols. So for some of the like the overall kind of metrics of MUX, like currently it has the aggregate liquidity is just above 600 million. So including the majority from GMX and also part from MUX native and G-Trade, and the cumulative trading volume is now like 32 billion. And the cumulative protocol income is like 20 million, and the majority of that has been shared with like liquidity providers and we MUX stakers. So in that case, like some of the like key kind of mechanism and offerings that we have on the protocol is like, first of all, again, the aggregate liquidity. And then the second one is the so because it's an aggregator, the one of the goal that we try to have like why users should use it is because we want them to kind of try to, when they trade through this one entrance, they don't have to worry about, okay, which protocol I need to use so my trading costs can be more optimized. Because like for on-chain trading, I mean on-chain or off-chain, both ways, like the trading cost can be a pretty complex factor because it includes like different kind of things like open and close fees, the most basic ones, and then there's also price impact based on the position size, and it could be like spread and also slippage and different kind of execution cost. So when you put all those things together, sometimes although the cost for opening or closing a position doesn't look that like big on the surface, like when you actually execute it, the cost sometimes can be surprising. So in this case, like it's kind of just along the process of like finding proper product market fit. For MUX, like the contributors kind of realized there can be this route of just trying to optimize the cost as much as possible for users, so they don't have to worry about like the cost that much. So in this case, in MUX case, how this is being executed is because again it has integrated with multiple liquidity source. So when they try to open the position through MUX, if you try to just dynamically allocate traders' position in a single or multiple kind of components to one or more protocols based on market, available liquidity, position size, overall trading costs, and user preferences. And in this case, you will always try to ensure you get the best possible cost possible. Like for example, like sometimes when traders, they are used to trading on GMX, for example, but now when you trade through MUX, like some of the volume might be preferably routed to different protocols, and you can save like up to 40% cost in that case. And yeah, another like important factor on MUX is like just a self-custody side of things. Because in the last cycle, like people have seen those like pretty like tragic events of like big centralized exchanges kind of losing users' assets, all that. So in that case, like being able to just like utilizing like on-chain infrastructure, traders can directly just utilize assets through their wallet. So they don't have to deposit anything. So it's just like totally self-custodial, and it's kind of safer for traders in a sense. And then another very important mechanism of MUX, again, it's kind of on the it's aggregator, so it has the aggregated position, meaning like usually when traders open a single position through like individual protocols like GMX or Gains or like Vortex, DYDX, other lithium protocols out there, you can only like utilize again liquidity from that single protocol. But now because like MUX can help to like just aggregate liquidity from different sources, and almost like for your single position, you can have like multiple components from different protocols. Like for example, say if currently like GMX has like 100 million Ethereum like a liquidity, like MUX may have 30 million and Gains may have like 10 million. So if someone saying now I want to open like a 140 million ETH long position, in this case, if you can open that directly through MUX. A next unique feature that we offer through the aggregator is we call it the leverage boosting, and they also come with another beneficial side effect of liquidation price optimization. So in this case, it's because we have so many different protocols out there, and they all has different kind of risk exposure offerings for traders. Some may offer up to a 20x leverage, some may offer up to 50x leverage, and in some cases like up to 100x leverage. But just based on kind of the overall the user behavior that we observe on the market, and also just like also listening to different feedback, we like did realize like there is a need for like higher leverage trading sometimes when the volatility is very high, when traders really want to speculate. But like they won't be able to get access to that kind of instrument through like a lot of protocols. In this case, we kind of saw this opportunity, and then the dev contributors designed this setup called leverage boosting, where you can just supply additional collateral to traders' positions, and then in that case can help to lower the maintenance margin rate requirements, and then it can further boost the leverage. So in this case, yeah, through the aggregator, it can offer like aggregate liquidity, which is pretty deep, and then also diverse market options, and also like very diverse kind of leverage options. Yeah, that's like some of the key kind of like aggregator features and mechanisms about MUX. But then but like there's also a story about like, because MUX itself didn't start as an aggregator, it actually started as like a standalone decentralized perp DEX, and the aggregator thing was just a byproduct, but eventually became this kind of main selling point for it. And it's like a funny story about like finding like proper kind of product market fit, and also just experimenting and failing and making improvements along the way. I was just like, that's kind of the context here. And if there are any kind of questions or any kind of more topics I can talk about, happy to do that.
All right, awesome. Thank you for that intro to the MUX protocol. Yeah, I'm not a big user of Perpetual's protocols myself, but in the context of the hackathon and some of the viewers that we have here, I'm curious to know if you see any major setbacks that Perpetual's protocol have, and or a space that there's technology missing that could potentially be filled. Like, do you have any potential examples for that?
Yeah, for sure. I think one of it's definitely the overall kind of performance and what users or say traders can do with the platform, with the on-chain platforms at the moment. Because like in traditional TradFi, like derivatives trading with different like futures options, and people do all like very like sophisticated strategies. But like in terms of but that a lot of it kind of requires like a very robust like order book. But in this case, I think in the early days of like the on-chain perps trading space, a biggest struggle was with like, first of all, the overall kind of network performance, and the next one is also the protocol itself, the order book performance. So before like L2s and some like high performance L1s popped up, like on-chain kind of performance and latency really wasn't good enough to support kind of just not even high frequency, but a relatively high frequency kind of trading in that case. And then also because like order book itself, it related to like pricing that's like at the core of all the products. It's very hard to kind of balance again the performance and decentralization and all that. So I think a turning point of the space is like I think two products. One is when DYDX kind of have their kind of hybrid version of offering kind of on-chain and off-chain infrastructure. So it's like off-chain order book with like on-chain execution. And then the next one is GMX that help to kind of really I'll call it revolutionize the space with the P2P model, where it's more suitable for on-chain trading because it doesn't really require a robust order book. It will just directly let traders trade against the liquidity pool, which is a pool that holds kind of a portfolio of assets that both assets and stable coins that will be reserved for traders when they open long or short positions. With this kind of setup, first of all, it doesn't really require like a very robust like infrastructure, but it can also offer like more benefits to traders, like 0% price impact. So in this case, when trader open a position with a size that's like open a certain threshold, the cost of trading on-chain can actually be better than off-chain. So in that case, like traders actually have a reason to like try on the on-chain products. So this is kind of like the exploration that people did, but so far I think it just like in terms of meeting all different like traders demand, there's still a long way to go, because for products like, for example, MUX, and also it has integrated with GMX and G-Trade, it's really kind of just like attractive, say, onboarding a very specific group of like users or traders, like the one who's kind of trading for like P&L, who tends to speculate the market more. But then for someone who try to like do like those hedging strategies or more kind of sophisticated strategies, like this type of model, because of like the funding fee setup, the borrowing fee setup, it might not be like the best. But now we also see like newer protocols like Hyperliquid, for example, they have like a very robust like their own L1 and the market making team, and also order book, and they also have like very fascinating speed of like listing new markets. And also we can see we were able to see like more traders was onboarding to this type of platform and actually be able to execute more kind of strategies. So in this case, I think as we I mean, in the space in general, like as the infrastructures and then the different setup and people's kind of their actual knowledge about the space like expand more, like it will be able to, and also like more importantly, I think just like continuously increase the liquidity so it can support like those bigger size. Because like so far, I think for trading volume, like DEX to central exchanges is still around like maybe 2 to 5% of the daily volume. So there's still a lot of uproom. And one of, I think, the main restriction is from this, because not restriction, but like a roadblock is just like liquidity, because the traders can only do so much on chain because there's only that much liquidity, right? So if like the product setups like advance and there's more liquidity and more traders actually on board to this space, so eventually I think with like the whole kind of decentralized infrastructure to eliminate like kind of the trust factor of it, and also as like the performance can be better and people actually will be willing to move on chain. I think there's still a big uproom there. And then although there are challenges like mentioned, but then I think there's is still I think it's still a pretty optimized like future.
I see. I guess that's the setback of being decentralized and not relying on one central trading broker or platform to transact all your trade, is that there's just so many different aspects of it, and just fine tuning that so that it's more efficient would it's from what you're saying, I assume that it's still not fine tuned to like perfection yet, and it still has a ways to go, and from what I understand, that's kind of like the main takeaway of that. That's really interesting. Can I ask about which position you work for in MUX, or like what role you fill?
I'm currently mainly helping with like BD and marketing, and I do help with like just like more, product strategies a little bit, but mainly kind of more active on Twitter.
I see. Then can I ask about some of the major challenges you have like working in this role?
I think the biggest challenge is definitely finding users in the space, because like working Web3 comparing to like traditional space, there's not really a way for you to help to do kind of gather like real user feedback, or like find a proper way to locate the users, or yeah, just to reach users in general, because everyone is one or a million address, and it's sometimes hard to tell if this like this is one address is one user, or this 10,000 addresses one user, right? So a lot of it kind of depends on just based on like analyzing like on-chain data, and also but sometimes also kind of talking with users directly in Discord or Telegram to understand kind of their standpoint and their and a lot of their recommendations about the products, and just help to optimize overall experience with the contributors, and also help to kind of locate more users and actually push the product to their to their attention, and then like gradually onboard them to it. So a lot of it kind of come with like, again, yeah, how to do content that can target certain group of users, and also if there are any kind of marketing strategies or like different campaigns that you can do to actually onboard those traders and also like retain them.
Yeah, interesting. I guess that goes to the same point as before as well, that since everything is decentralized, it's hard to get a really good grasp of what kind of users and analytics and where to look in the first place, because there is just nothing much being tracked on chain in terms of user activity and data. Yeah. All right. Do you have any closing words that you would like to say to our listeners before we close off for today?
I mean, I think, yeah, it's just like helping with like Web3 protocols and doing stuff in this space is definitely pretty fun. And I think a lot of time it's kind of all about just making quick experiments, and because sometimes like the first iteration of the products almost like never really work that well expected, right? Because the first iteration is based on kind of the personal or the team's speculation of the market, but they might not meet like the trader's needs. So in that case, you just like, yeah, launch, ship fast, and then make iterations, so make mistakes along the way, and then eventually, yeah, you can reach like a proper product market fit. And yeah, last one, this one might sound a bit cringy, but yeah, if anyone's interested in checking kind of this type of product, or like give it a shot, if you're interested in kind of like decentralized trading, maybe just give MUX a shot. MUX.network, it's this purpose trading aggregator. Yeah, and as mentioned, has all those like different liquidity source integrated, and currently offers more than 135 markets with like pretty decent liquidity at this moment. So and here's like the stats and docs. That's everything's available through the app itself, or like the main page. So in that case, just feel free to give it a shot if you're interested.
All right. Thank you very much, Dumbbird, for joining us today for the speaking session. Unfortunately, our next speaker, who should have been coming up now, Silo Finance, is encountering some issues, and they will not be able to make it today. So this is where we'll have to close off today's speaking session. We will try to reschedule with Silo Finance to be perhaps next week or the week after in order to get them on. I would like to speak to IHAM, because they were winners from ETH Denver, I think, back in 2021. So it would be an interesting conversation with them to have, and I will try to get them back on board again. But anyways, thank you, Dumbbird, for coming once again. It was great listening about MUX and to hear you share some of your knowledge about decentralized perps. Hope everyone enjoyed the session and learned something new.
Awesome. Thanks a lot for having me.
All right then. Yeah. Happy hacking, everyone. Goodbye.